Good morning. Looks like we are live. Oh, and there I am. This is coming up a lot faster than expected, which is good. Okay. I had to plug in my iPad, so that's going to cover up the top of things. But I think we're going to be good. Let me just check my camera, make sure I have enough room to work here with this thing in my way. Okay, it looks like I have room and everything's straight, and I should be able to see comments. So say hi when you're here. If you're on YouTube or watching this later, say hashtag replay. And I think that's it. We'll get started. So I am Toni Tesler, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you need anything, let me know. Hey, Gail. So today is my retirement workshop. I do one of these every year. And this is when I give away all my samples from my swaps and from like the cards that I make every week. Because I tell you, I've been using a lot more this year, but they've been piling up. So I have over 2 of those big photo boxes full. So good morning, Sean. Good morning, Leslie. So everyone ordering for my retirement workshop today, $50 or order or more, whatever, using this code in April, you're going to get a share of my samples. That's your freebie for the month. And then you're going to get a special gift from Leslie and Pam, who have given me boxes of stamps. Hey, Darlene. So it's a variety of different holiday ones. Some are photopolymer, some are wood. Some are, in the last few years. Some are a bunch of years old. It's a hodgepodge, and they're all good. So when you place your order, if I can go back and look and see what you've ordered like in the last 10 years, then I'm going to try to give you something that you don't already have. But if I can't find that, if I can't figure that out, I'm just going to use my best judgment as to what I think you'll like if I know you or, know what you'll normally order. Sorry, I had to get a sip of coffee. Hey, Vicky. So that's a retirement workshop. So what I'm going to demonstrate today, 4 cards using retiring stuff like papers, embossing folders, stamps, some doodads, whatever I have that's retiring. So you're going to get the card kits for all of these and, with envelopes and all. So you'll get all the paper pieces, everything punched out, just like my normal kits every month. And then, like I said, you'll get, mostly people end up with a stack at least that thick of cards from my samples and swaps that I've done from the past year. So yeah, like every year I clean everything out and I just keep like a couple boxes of cards for myself, to use. And which, is funny because even though I do that every time I need a card, it seems like I root through there and I'm like, nope, nothing's perfect. I gotta make one. So I don't think I'm the only one that does that. All right, let's get to it. So first, let's look at mail because Gail sent me some really cool stuff. She cut out these stencils, and Gail, I had to quit watching your video. I only made it through one card because my sister called and I was talking to her. So I don't know if you showed how to use these or not. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the rest of your video. But it looks like some clouds. Like, this is really cool. And then scenes like trees, mountains, it looks like, and I'm thinking these all may match. So very cool. She loves me. I love it. And then she sent me some new nails, which I love. Blushing rose quartz. So I'm going to put those on next. I did these Coral Bay ones last week. So thanks, Gail. I love it. And then I got a nice, bright, beautiful card from Peggy for Easter. Look at this. It's a slim line, which I love. But just look at this orange and like a pumpkin, like a darker pumpkin. I can't remember I think this might be only orange. I'm not sure. But a little jelly bean tree and some, you can tell she used some like alcohol markers to give it some shadows. And this little jar full of kitty cats. How fun is that? I don't know. I guess, does the whole thing show up in here? Let me look over here for a minute. You did show the clouds, Gail? Okay, good. I am going to have to go back and finish watching that. That's awesome. But yeah, I love it. And then funny, so it's not Hallmark, so shoot me. I know she probably had that made or found it somewhere. Cute. So that's awesome mail. And then I got some anniversary cards. Like a lot of glittery and a lot of words. This is from my mom. I love this flower though. Like this reminds me of something in the new catalog. And I like it. And I like that color pink. So thanks for the mail. All right, first announcement, other than the fact that this is retirement workshop, last call today, last plug for, I need 2 more people for bingo. So if you are interested, it is Sunday. We're playing Sunday, May 2nd at 1 o'clock Eastern time. I mean, we're going to go with what I have, but I really want 2 more because then the prizes are better. All right. So let's get started. First one is going to be a Christmas card because this Christmas set is retiring. So let me move this out of the way. So this is the Itty Bitty Christmas set. I have too many cords going on now. I feel like something's going to come crashing down. All right. So colors for this one, I'm using Just Jade and Poppy Parade. Those colors are not retiring. They just happen to match the paper. So this paper is from Flowers for Every Season, I believe. And this, like the background has a cinnamon cider stripe. That is not Christmassy at all. So I'm not doing anything with that. But this is a pretty straightforward, designer series paper layer, Just Jade base, Poppy layer, then this that we're going to cut down. Then these 2 punches are retiring. This is like I can't remember what they call it. Starburst. This is a Starburst punch and then a 2-inch circle punch, which I then embossed with the Dainty Diamonds embossing folder. So this is retiring as well. And I feel like I hardly got to use that. And then here's Itty Bitty Christmas. So this is going to go in my pile for my BOGO sale in June. So that is June 5th. Now this is one of the first ones that had the sticky stickers. And what I always like to trim my stamps down because I don't like to catch any edges. So hey Peggy, hi Peg. So I put the stickers on because I'm hoping that, the rubber will match, and then I trim it, then I flip it over, and sometimes I cut some of the words off. And that's because they don't, it's their manufacturing. Like if they don't get the stamp centered, like so the sticker fits right, that's on them. But you get the idea. Like this one, there's more, it's, trimmed closer. But I like to have like very little edges around the stamps themselves. Just in case you rock or, whatevers. All right, so I'm using Happy Holidays, Itty Bitty Christmas. And I don't believe there's anything similar in the new catalog. I've been looking at it online because I don't have mine yet either, hard copy. So I don't think there's anything similar to this, but that's not to say we won't get something. Hey, Molly, thanks. There's not to say we won't get something in the next July to December catalog. So we'll see. But anyway, this is going in the pile. This is going in the pile. And actually, speaking of piles, let me just make a new one. Use stuff. Okay. So, like I said, Just Jade, 5.5 by 8.5. Scored it at 4 1/4. And then I've got Poppy Parade and Whisper White, or Basic White. 4 by 5 1/4, both of these pieces. So this white one is for the inside. Just because I like to do that. So I can write. I mean, you could write on this, but I think too it makes it a little sturdier. All right. And then I'm not going to attach this yet. I'm going to cut my designer series paper first. And I'm going to drag up my trimmer. So I'm going to get this out of the way. So since that layer was 4 by 5 1/4, I got to be careful where I put this because I don't want it to land on the keyboard there. So since my layering piece was 4 by 5 1/4, I'm cutting this down 1/8. So I'm starting at 3 7/8 first. Oh wait, I gotta pay attention to direction. I don't know that this, yeah, I think it does have a little direction. We'll go this way. I'm gonna make it a portrait card. So 3 7/8. And then the other piece was 4 by 5 1/4. So I want to cut it down to 5 1/8. So I'm taking an 1/8 inch off. So that's a pretty thin border. But I like that. I also like a 3/16 border. Different borders, different purposes. You know, it gives you a different look. So I'm just taping this on. And I'm not popping this layer up or anything. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down to my card front. Whoops. Oh, gotta chase it. And get that centered. Okay. Now I've already punched out a Poppy Parade 2-inch circle and embossed it because that embossing folder will not fit in my mini stamp and emboss. Hey Marty, you're in Florida? Awesome. Alright, so I do want to use the Starburst Punch. And this is probably going in my pile as well because I don't hardly use this. Some punches I keep, like all my circle punches, keeping all those because I still use them like all the time. My 2-inch, my 2 1/4, and 2 1/2. The 2 1/2 inch punch has been retired for years, but that's like a staple. So I still use that plenty. All right, now this is just going to be a tone on tone. And I'm just going to glue that down. I like the tone on tone business. And I might need my new glue. So I'm going to set this, hold this for a minute and have a sip of coffee. Thank you guys for sharing. That's awesome. Okay, so that's going to go here. And let's stamp our greeting. So, like I said, I'm using just Jade. This color is not retiring. It just happens to match the paper. So, Happy Holidays on white. And then I'm going to use this classic label punch. This is retiring. And I have one similar. I have the word window punch still. So one of them is going to go in the retired pile. All right, so I'm going to punch that. And I don't know if I need that scrap anymore. But we'll see. All right, so we've got our pieces. Now, I want to hand cut. So, see this flower here, the poinsettia? I hand cut that out of the strip of leftovers. So you just want to pick one that looks, I didn't cut like all the leafy parts out. Let's go with this one. And I didn't cut all the berries. All right, let's get rid of that. Just because I didn't want to be here cutting all morning. But too, if you were going to make a couple of these, you don't want to make it like harder on yourself. I just wanted to use this, you know, use up the little scrap that I have from cutting it off. And it needed a little something to tie in the poinsettias. All right, now, so these leaves, see how they go over there? Not today. I'm going to cut just this one. And actually, this might be the same flower that I cut before. And nope, not going to do that either. I just need a little bit of the green stuff around it, leaves. Now I should have taped this to cardstock first. I've noticed that from Gail and Sue, they've been doing that. Because when you are cutting or anything out of the designer series paper, it is a little thin and flimsy. So if I had glued this to white first that would have made it a little more sturdy. But for my purposes today, it's fine. So let's do, actually I'm going to do all little ones. So these are mini dimensionals that I have saved. These come from my paper pumpkin kits, or it could have been some other card kit. I think it's a paper pumpkin, because it seems like they give you so many of these dimensionals and the glue dots, and I never seem to use them all, so I just save them and then use them elsewhere. All right, let me pick these off. Whoops. Yikes. Almost there. Yeah, Marty, this is pretty paper. So in case nobody noticed from the retirement list, they are retiring every pack of designer series paper except for the one that's, I think it's called In Good Taste, where it was like a bigger pack and it had like all the brick patterns, brick, tiles, hardwoods, like different textile things. So every other pack is being retired. Oh, whoops, got to attach that. And that's normal. They do that every year. And some of them have already run out. Yeah, Holly, you do the same thing? Oy. All right, and then we're just going to put these on here. Try to get that straight. Now another reason I did use all the dimensionals from this pack is so that everything's the same height. Because sometimes they're a little different. Even between the mini dimensionals that we can order and the regular ones, sometimes they're just a different thickness, and I don't know why. So I want that to be the same. All right, and then we're going to bring in a little bit of the Just Jade ribbon, which they normally keep all of the, some of the pre-order wasn't available, Gail. Oh, snap. I got to look and see. But the ribbon, so this is an in-color ribbon. This color, like I said, Just Jade is not going away. Normally they would keep these ribbons in the next catalog, but they have other plans. So for now, these ribbons are going away, which I really like them. I mean, they're a 1/4 inch. They tie nice. They're not too stiff. They're not too loose. They're just right. They're the Goldilocks of ribbon. All right, so I just did this bow by hand. I may use my little thingy machine for yours, because I will tie a bow for you. You'll get a bow already ready to go in your make and take kit. Okay, now we're going to put that on with a glue dot. All right, so glue dots, I keep them on the roll like this. So I peel back till I see the one I want, and then I just put my thing right on it, press it down, and pull it up. And I do that with paper bits too. And I just cut one of my boxes like in half pretty much, so it hangs, it sits like this. It's better than opening and closing the box every time. So I just found that's better for me anyway. Okay, so that's our first card. And if you wanted to put any blingy gold or anything on it, I really wanted to use some gold glitter enamel dots, because I thought that would be perfect to set off the little berries in the middle. And they are on the retiring list, but guess what? I think I've used them all because I can't find them. So good on the one hand, but bad because I really thought they would be perfect. So since Gail brings up the pre-order list, so today as demonstrators we can pre-order just from a select items from the new catalog, and that's what I'm using to get my prizes for bingo. So all the prizes for bingo are going to be new catalog stuff that nobody has unless you're a demonstrator. So I'm thinking like some of the new in colors, which I love, by the way. I hope I can figure out how to make like a graphic that shows the new ones, or maybe I can just cut something out because they're really pretty. But that's my pre-order. I'm going to put that in tomorrow. That's why I'm giving through today to RSVP for bingo, so that then I know how much I can spend to order on prizes. but I'm looking forward to that. Let me put these somewhere. Now catalogs, so I can order catalogs today too. I am not dealing with Stampin' Up! Mailing my catalogs because that was just a fiasco this last time. So if you have ordered anything from me within the last 6 months, I'm going to get you a catalog, whether I drop it off, whether I mail it, whether we arrange something. Either way, you're going to get a catalog from me somehow. And I should get them, if I order them today, I should get them by either next Friday or the following Monday, because it seems like fall last year, I was getting all my orders in 7 business days, like on the dot, and now it seems like I'm going like 7 or 8. So, wah, wah. Either way, they'll be on the way. All right, so this card, I love this. I'm using 2 sets, 2 embossing folders, and some dies. So let me bring them in. So our main sets are High Tide. I like this Sea House or Lighthouse, whatever. And I like these birds that are, you can make a little scene like on the water. And they're good sayings. But this is going to go in my BOGO pile as well. And Healing Hugs, I have really enjoyed this. This is one of those distinctive stamps, so it gives you a variety. Hey, Patricia. It gives you a shading in one stamp, so you don't have to re-ink it. It's just, it makes the shading for you, and that's pretty cool. But these are good sayings. Get well soon. That fits a lot of punches, so I like a punch for a greeting if I can, because they're just quick and easy, and especially if you're making like a bunch, I think punches are faster. But sending you healing vibes, we're going to use that one today. Wishing you a quick and complete recovery. I like that. So those are the stamps that we are using. Throw those over. I'm also using the Old World paper embossing folder. This was my absolute favorite new item from the catalog last year. And this one I am keeping, just because I love it so much. So I'm using that, and then I'm using the Subtle embossing folder, which came out a couple years ago. Now this is a 3D one. This was made by Sizzix. This is before Stampin' Up! Changed their manufacturer. So even though these are both 3D embossing folders, this one is a little thicker. So I'm telling you that because on these ones, you need to use the new 3D embossing plate. Last year it was blue, this year it's gray. Those are just like a little bit thicker. But since this folder itself is thicker, I use just one clear cut plate instead of the blue. I don't use the 3D embossing folder. It just won't fit through. Okay? So, and you'll be able to tell, if any embossing folder doesn't want to go through right away, then you just have to fool with the tabs and shims and all that. But usually for me, it's just a matter of I either use the blue plate or the clear plate. I don't have to make any other shims or anything. So that one I am going to give up. I know it's Gail's favorite, but I like this one better. So we're using those. And then I'm using the, don't mind this. This is my suit and tie. This is my organizing, which I am redoing. But I'm using the Stitched Nested Labels dies. And I have enjoyed these a lot for making tags. Like I'll take this bigger one and cut like the base for my tag, like to hang off a gift bag, like a normal large size brown gift bag or whatever. That's a good size for tags. And I think I used this size was my cutout. Yep. So Stitched Nested Labels. These are going away to wah, wah. All right. Card base. Let's start at the bottom. How about that? So we're using basic gray cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5. And then I've taken a piece of Smoky Slate and I cut it down 4 by 5.25, and then I embossed it with the Subtle embossing folder. Let me just bring that up. I don't know if that's really showing. I hope it is. It's a nice, good background. Then we're using, these papers are these are from the mini catalog, the January to June catalog. It's from the Well Suited pack. So these are still available till June 30th, but the papers are not in the new catalog. The stamp set, the Well Suited stamp set and dies, those are in the new catalog, but the papers are not. So if you like these papers, you got to get them now. So I cut this piece also 4 by 5 1/4, just because from our math, you know, I got 6 of these out of 1 piece of paper. But you're going to rip it. So see here, I've got the ripping, and when I rip it, I like to rip it towards me because then I get the white edge on top. And I'll just show you on this one. If you rip down, you don't get the white edge there. You get it here. All right, and I want that white edge. I'm just throwing this away. And I just eyeballed, so I'm gonna go here. And again, just ripping it towards me. The bigger your white spot, the better, I think. I just want it to show like a difference. All right, now I'm just gonna glue this in the middle. My glue is not quite empty, but it's getting there. All right, and I'm putting this, eyeballing it middle-ish. And I'm just gonna hold that there for a minute. And man, I got the sweats. Oh, and then I've got a white piece. This is 4 by 5 1/4, my regular. I'm gonna put that on the inside. All right, let's glue this down also. And then I will hold that down for a minute. Okay, and I'm going to tape this in just before I forget. You could also put a piece of Smoky Slate on the inside here too, if you wanted. You just want something lighter so you can, you know, write on it. All right, now where I feel like I lost, okay. So ink colors, I'm using Smoky Slate and Basic Gray, our same ones. My Basic Gray is older and it is a linen pad, so it's hard. It's not squishy foam like all the other ones. So I want to show you a difference on this piece. So I cut this out of the stitched nested labels and then I embossed it with the Old World embossing folder. So, but notice there's like dark bits, and I got that from, let me move this over. I took my Basic Gray ink pad. Since it's linen, it's hard, it's not squishy. I just scraped it like right across and it just picks up the raised bits. Okay, and then that's gonna lighten up. I'll let it sit over here. But what I want to show you is, so I just embossed a scrap with the Old World paper. With the foam pad, any pressure you put on this ink pad to here, it's going to like, it smashes down into it and you'll get like a lot more coverage. Whoa. So normally, you know, see how I got it? It's all in here, and then I got line here, here. It's just a little bit more, it's squishy. And here I've got the edges, and it's just a lot more ink in general. And ooh, look at that. Totally, I think too, because I re-inked these. So you can still do this technique with your foam pads. You just have to be careful, okay? So that's all I wanted to show you with that. All right, and then I want to make sure this is dry because I don't want it to come up. And I might actually save that because that looks like a good bit I could do something with. All right, make sure these are all dry. Yep. Okay, so Smoky Slate, we've got this base. That's going to go there. Let's stamp our Lighthouse and our words. So let me do the words first. Basic Gray, and the words are from the Healing Hugs. So sending you healing vibes. All right, I like that. It's a nice dark gray. Then I'm going to use the story label punch. This is retiring, and I'm putting this in my BOGO pile. I'm not keeping this one. I've been keeping just about every punch I have, but just like my stamps, like I have too many. And if I don't use them, it's not doing me any good. So I'm going to be selling that one off. All right, now the Lighthouse is a two-stepper, and I actually have to turn it this way. I have better luck. So I can never figure out, like, this is the more solid image, and this is the, I guess, the overlay. So this, I think, should be darker, and this is lighter. So I have better luck doing the darker one first. And this one I actually messed up. I stamped the same thing twice. I stamped this outlining part in the basic gray, and then I grabbed the wrong one. I grabbed it again and did it in Smoky Slate. So what I stamped today is probably not going to come out as dark as that, because that was a whoopsie. All right, now you may need a foam mat or something underneath your photopolymer stamps. I generally don't have an issue with that. I say that, and then I might not get a great image, but it's good enough for right now. All right, solid, more solid one. This is with the Smoky Slate, and actually I gotta drag this closer because I'm trying to line up this end, like these pieces, this end over top of that, and then this tippy top right there. So let me excuse my hair if that gets in the way. All right, we'll see. Okay, not quite exact. This other one was perfect, but it'll do. All right, let's put those off to the side. I am finished with this ink pad, and I'm just going to hand cut this. And this is really easy to hand cut. And when I get to the part up top where I messed it up, I'm just going to do a little creative cutting. So Sean says, the cardboard from the paper pumpkin kits works perfect for the photopolymer stamps. Oh yeah. Yep, exactly. It's just a little something to give you some padding underneath. Yep. All right, now here you can really tell that I messed that up. All right, so finished with that. Now this time I'm going to move this piece over just a little bit. So I put this right in the middle because my go-to is kind of to put it off to the side at a jaunty angle. But for this one I was trying to resist my natural tendency. I was like, I'm going to put it right in the middle. I don't care how I feel about it. But this time, no, I'm going to do what I want. All right, so then I can still bring this in a little bit. Like here, it's right next to the edge of that. Meh. All right, this was just glue. And then I'll pop up the lighthouse. All right, I'm gonna hold this for a minute and then have another sip of coffee. Okay, and then I'm gonna pop these up. And I used quite a bit of dimensionals. I think I got one more down here. No saggy bits. Now I know this being gray is kind of like, maybe some people think it's depressing, but it kind of reminds me of like storm colors. So I like it. I thought about throwing some blue in there, but then I was like, meh, nope, not doing it. All right, so for my gems, I'm using the Frosted and Clear Epoxy Droplets, and this was a freebie I had a couple months ago. So I used the clear ones on here, so I'm going to use frosted ones on this one. And you will use whatever you have, like rhinestones would work, anything, really. And these are quite bumpy, but I have never had any problem as far as mailing them. Like, I hope not. You know, like nobody's told me that I've mailed a card to. Nobody's emailed me and said, hey, thanks for that card, but all the gems were busted and cracked. So I'm just assuming that they're all good. All right. So that is our second card, High Tide and Healing Hugs. And then the papers, these were from the Well Suited Suite, which are only going to be available until June 30th. All right, so that's that. Let's put that over here. Oh, let me check my notes. I don't have anything else. I already told you about bingo and catalogs. Okay. So, oh, now we're kind of going out of order, but this is on top of the pile. So Buffalo check background is retiring. Boo. This is my favorite background right now. And I mean, it's just all purpose. It goes with so many things. Like it's a very generic all purpose set. So I'm keeping that, but I'm using it today, and I'm using it with the Hey Chick set. So you may remember, this is from Celebration back in 2017, and they brought it back with dies as like a special, you know, limited time thing. So this is retiring because it's only available till June 30th. I mean, I think the die said June 30th or while supplies last, and they haven't run out yet. But we're going to use that little chicken. Hey Chick. And I did not put my sticky stamps on the back of these. I think I only did it on the little words. Anything that's like a tiny bit that I may worry about it falling off, I put the stickers on that. But everything else, no. Alright, so I'm using this one. Oh, and a third set. Country Home. So I feel like I didn't give this enough use either. And this is going to go in the BOGO pile. But we're using this greeting. So grateful for someone like you in my life. And that's only because it fits in this little... it looks like an air freshener. I realize that. But it's a tag. My mom gave me these. Like, she was cleaning out something last year and said, oh, do you want these things? And I was like, yeah, I'll do something with them. And I made a couple cards with them. And then they've been like sitting off to the side. But they are a good match for Poppy Parade. And I like it. So we're going to stamp on that. So, and I have like 15 or 16 of these. So I shouldn't run out. I should have enough for everybody. So let me put those there. Then we're using a little bit of this Poppy Parade ribbon that has been retired for a long time. But I also have a bunch of this left. So we're using it. All right. So I'm just tying a knot because this is really thick stuff. So I don't want to do a bow. So I'm just going to tie this, cut it, and then I can get this off the table. All right, pieces. So we've got our Poppy Parade, 5.5 by 8.5. And I think that vanilla, yep, this is for the inside. So 5.25 by 4 vanilla. Put that right on the inside right now. All right, then I've got basic black, 5.25 by 4, and then crumb cake, and I just trimmed it down another 1/8 of an inch. So 5 1/4 by 4, 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Hey Betty, oh, you got your paper pumpkin? Good, 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 good. I meant to check on that, and so I'm glad you got it. All right, so our layers, that we're gonna stamp on this. This is the crumb cake. Let me just bring my stamp back. Oh, duh, I needed it. So I did not clean this from the other day when I made my sample, and I'll just run this under the water to clean it later. With my background stamps, I don't use the block really. Like, we have the giant block. For some reason, I mean, it just seems like too much trouble to get it out, but I do use that block for other reasons, like more for a palette. But for this, I just lay it down on my table and Poppy Parade ink, and I just ink it. Now, if you have linen pads or some other brand that is, you know, not a foamy pad, if you want to get nice even ink, you would use your rubber brayer and, you know, ink it up and then brayer across. But with the foam, like, it really gives us a good coverage. All right, so I lay this right on here and eyeball it, and that might be a smidge off. Oop, and then I need a scratch piece of paper. All right, I just threw this out. So then I just press and rub all over to get a good coverage. It really is best to do your background stamps like this. And see, then we have the outline. Garbage. If you try to, that's good. Nah, see, it's a little off. I'm gonna have to live with it. If you put this on the block and try to stamp and then press down, like give it CPR, which is what we used to do, like when we first started, we didn't know any better. You're just never really going to get an even coverage. You can give it all the CPR you want. It's just not in the cards. So it's better just to put your stamp on the table, ink it up, and then put your paper to the stamp. And then, like I said, I will run this on the faucet, under the faucet later to clean it. Just in water, and that doesn't mess up the back or anything. All right, so let's get this together. All right, one more squeeze. That one is done. All right, I keep a spare up here. I go through these things like crazy, but that's good. I like this glue. All right, so we're using our liquid glue. I mean, you could use tape. Wiggle that around a little bit, and then I'm going to hold it in place. Okay. All right, now I'm going to stamp the greeting directly on my little tag that you're going to get. It is a photopolymer stamp, and I need a stamp positioner. And I just got this cutesy. This is a mini Misty. I know this is not Stampin' Up, but it is smaller. It is like perfect size for like card front. So this is what I am using. So then I can just keep it up on my table. And then the other one is down here on the floor. So that's still where I had it. Any stamp positioner tool you want, you know, use what you have. But this was on sale and it's cute. So I got it. All right, so I'm using Memento. So see, when I do it just once, it's just not light. I mean, it's just not dark enough. So I want to go. Gail, you have that contraband too? Yeah, it's cute. And I tell you, my Stamp Club girls gave me my first Misty, and I really use that more than anything anyway. Because I like how the edges are. But then on the flip side, for other things, that I need the edge to hang off, then I use the Stamparatus. So, everything has its purpose. So it's okay to have a couple different versions. I like that. That's dark enough. All right, so I'm going to take that off, and then I'm going to just stick the, let me peel this off. Oh, whoopsie, my thing says having trouble playing my video. Let me do a refresh real quick. It still says live up here, so I think we're still good. Okay. I've noticed that's been happening even when I'm watching other people's videos. That is disappointing. Okay, so I've got a scrap of vanilla, and let's just put this right there, and I'm going to die cut him, so I'm not really concerned with where it's going. And same thing, I'm just going to ink this up a couple times. And I really should have used probably a permanent ink, but I had this Memento out, and that's okay. Because I'm going to be using my water-based markers, and you know, it should be opposite. So I just have to worry, try not to make the ink run. So water-based markers, you should use a permanent ink, like an alcohol ink, stays on, or like a hybrid ink. I normally like Catherine Pooler's The Midnight ink. Let me just throw that on there anyway. This is a good black, and it's good for, it's archival. It's good for watercoloring or using your blends. So it's like a hybrid. Yeah, nice and dark. I like that. I'm going to have to clean that immediately. All right, let's get these little bits out of here. And of course it came with like a wee little grid paper. Too cute. All right, so give me just a minute to clean this stamp. Get my spritzy. No issue for you guys. Good. It was just me then on my iPad, because yeah, I looked up on the camera and it was still filming. That's just it's nerve-wracking when it cuts out and you think, what did I do? And then nope, wasn't me. Didn't do anything. But I can't bust on them too much. I mean, Facebook, it's a nice free platform that we're able to use. So it is still good. Okay, now let's trim this down a little bit. Trash. Put this back. Excuse my reach. That went like right across. Okay, markers. So like I said, I'm using, these are the regular Stampin' Write markers. These are not the blends. So you can still do shading with these. Let me bring that in. So I started with the light. I'm using Poppy Parade and Real Red. So I'm using the brush tip. Now with the brush tips of these, you don't want to use this like a crayon and like really smash it down and write. You want to like have a light, like use it like a watercolor brush, like a light flicking, and try to use the side of it mostly. So I want the light bits, and down here, I'm just going for some variation. All right, then I'll come in with the Real Red and like fill in the gaps. Try to make some lines. All right, and then up here, it's kind of easier to see where we need to fill in because there's like little white spots. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell, but there is a difference in color. All right, now pumpkin pie for the nose and the feet. And And then I'm going to go in with crushed curry for his legs, although they ended up quite dark. And then over top of the feet also. And then our two browns, I've got Crumb Cake and Sahara Sand. Crumb Cake is darker. And I'm going to start with that one first, just kind of like hugging the outline as much as I can. Just a little bit. And then around his little fluffies. All right, just to give a little hint of that color. And then I will follow with the Sahara Sand, just a little bit bolder of an outline. And kind of going over the Crumb Cake as well. Alright, so done with those. And I realized I need my Wink of Stella pen, which is behind here in a little drawer. Okay. Alright, so just Wink of Stella all over his body. And again, I have to be careful that I don't pick up the color and smear it. And actually, I'm just going to tap a little on his feathers. See how that came off? Some people are using that as a technique on purpose. They're like watercoloring with the Wink of Stella pen. I mean, if you have a bunch of them and you don't mind wrecking them, that's fine. No plans for me to do that. Okay, now let's do, we want to cut them out. So this is how I have my chick and birthday chick dies. I have them like all mixed matched together, but kind of off to the side. So we want this little guy. And like I said, these are the Hey Chick and the Chick dies. These are available through June 30th or while supplies last. And I'm really surprised these dies are still available. All right, and I'm going to bring in my little mini cutter. Knock all my glitter and where I have this sitting is like right in front of my trash can. So every little bit like goes right over it. It's probably not the best choice, but it's where it fits that I can reach it, you know? All right, so I've got my 2 cut plates and my #1 base plate. So I've been meaning to show you this, and so Sean got her big shot, her little mini. Sean, how long ago was that? Like a month or so ago? And she cranked one thing through it, and then it broke. She couldn't get any more through it. So, of course, you know, Sue called Stampin' Up. I called Stampin' Up. We're like, what's going on? What they're telling us is when you put your plates together and your dies, they want you to have them stacked a little bit. 2 months. Okay. So they want you to have at least this top plate and this plate stacked a little bit so that it kind of like gets a slanted start in there. And I did find, I was trying to cut like as much as I could at one time, and I had loaded it up. I had dies from this end to this end. Like I had this all filled up. I could not get it through the machine. So it really needs a little give. So they want you to also consider putting the die like down here, this end, and start it, push it through on that end. So just something to keep in mind. And where did I put that die? Oh, right here. All right, I am going to use a little bit of my Post-it note tape just to put that in place. But yeah, we were very disappointed in that. But of course, they sent her a new one right out, you know, right away. But at that point, we were like, well, geez, what went wrong? Like, we don't want to do that to ours. And I feel like they should have maybe given us some more training on that if it was going to be something like that, that we'd have to be, you know, remember. But so now you know. Just try to stagger your 2 plates. And, oh, it's almost 12. My husband just got home and yelled up, "Are you home?" All right, and I have one more card. I think I've been doing a lot of talking. I have one more card I want to do. All right, so here is, we've got all our pieces. Where'd that ribbon go? Right there. All right, we're going to glue this on. No problem at all with the new one, Sean. Good. That is good to know. But still, that whole thing was just like disappointing, right? Like, who wants to get a new toy that we're all excited about, and then you get one thing through it, and then nope. All right, I feel like that's maybe a little bit crooked, but we're going to go with it. All right, holding that, and then I'm just going to glue this on. At a jaunty angle. And I'm really putting this up in the corner at an angle because I want room for my chick to go right there. PO'd for sure, Sean. No doubt. All right, holding that. Then I'm going to come back with these mini dimensionals. Whoops. I guess the regular size ones would have fit the bill too here. But I feel like I want to use these up. And maybe one more right there. And then we're going to glue dot that ribbon on. Oh, actually, no. You know what? A glue dot, since this is like thicker and bulkier, I did a glue dot at first. And that didn't work, so I went with liquid glue. And then I'm going to show you what I had to do. All right, so let's put this chicky here. And let's add our black matte dots. These are not retiring either, the black dots. But I thought they worked well for this. So I want to do like, actually I'm going to do two. I'm going to do a big one and a little one here, and then a big one up here. All right. I like to have 3 and 2, or 2 and 1, either this way, 2 and 1, or 2 and 1. Definitely I like a group of 3. But yet sometimes I only use 2, so it all depends. All right, so for this, a glue dot was not holding it, and I want it this way. So what I had to do, and I'm just going to show you, and I'll have to do it later, but I put glue down here, then set the ribbon on it, then take a punch, something heavy, and just set it on there for like 20 minutes, okay? And that will keep it smashed down and perfect. All right, so glue and something to weight it down. Punches are the perfect weight for that. All right, so that is card number 3. Let me put this off to a different pile. And now we have our last card, which is my favorite. All right, so I'm using the Loyal Leaves stamp set, and the only ink I'm using is Versamark and clear embossing powder. So these were the brushed metallic foil papers that were in the last holiday catalog. So August through December it actually was. And so this is like a brassy foil copper brush thing, a gold, and then like a champagne. I only have a little bit of this one pattern left. I don't know what happened to all of this. So you're going to get 3 different pieces, 3 different chunks of metallic foil paper. Okay? And actually the colors, they don't matter. It's just you want 3 different ones. So that's what you're going to get. This ribbon is left from that other catalog also. I think it was part of the Gilded Autumn suite. So I really like this metallic with the Pretty Peacock. Pretty Peacock is retiring, and I think it might still have cardstock available. I haven't really checked, but I think the ink refill is all gone, and the blends, they may still be available. I'm not sure. Like, it changes every day. So I like this because we're using a tone on tone, and that's using up my paper. and I used the, I'm getting discombobulated. Let's just start with this. 5.5 by 8.5, Pretty Peacock. Fold it in half at 4 1/4. That's our base. Then I've got a layer, again, Pretty Peacock that I embossed with the tin tile folder. Now I really like this, but I have a similar one. So this is going in my retired pile. And this is one of the 3D ones. Love it. Let's put that over there. So I'm just going to glue that down. Yeah, these metallics, I mean, this would look good in, I mean, just any shade of green. Like this could be very Christmassy. Or you could go browns. I can have it be really woodsy. I just like it. I don't know. All right, and then very vanilla, 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside. Thanks, Linda. All right, and now let's get to our bits. So like I said, I've got 3 different shades of the foil. And really, so this is the brushed foil, but by the time you emboss on it, you can't see this brushing detail. So you just want 3 different colors. And then I've got a scrap of the Pretty Peacock for the greeting. So let's get all of our bits. So I'm going to do Still Missing You, because I think that is a good greeting for the current times. Out of all the blocks that I have, I should have had these ready to go. All right, and then we've got our long leaf and our medium leaf. I'm using all the 3 leaves from this, Loyal Leaves. And as much as it pains me, I am getting rid of this because I love the leaves, but I just can't keep them all. All right, so this is going in the BOGO pile. All right, let's get this stuff out of the way. So you will need your embossing buddy and your Versamark ink pad and clear embossing powder. I feel like I'm at maximum capacity with dirty stamps and stuff to be put away. By the time I get to the last card, it's just like there's too much stuff laying around here. Okay, so back to this. Our 3 different pieces of foil. Let's go ahead and we'll start with this one for the long one. Embossing buddy everywhere. Versamark. So by using Versamark and clear ink, you know, your foil can be any color. Yeah, you're right. You're my hero. That's an awesome, that would be a good greeting. All right, now I've got all my crystal clear ink pad or embossing powder in this little thing. So that reminds me, the embossing powders, it says they're retiring, and then there's an asterisk because they're being reconfigured. What's happening is they're going to be selling them in 3 packs. So I think 3 packs. Hopefully all that powder just landed right back in my container. So right now we can buy them, you know, separately. And not anymore. And I don't remember what the groupings are. But apparently we haven't had black embossing powder this whole catalog, and I did not realize that. Yep, I've got everywhere. All right, so I'm going to put that off to the side. Then we'll do, how about we'll do this guy. So again, embossing powder. So black embossing powder is coming back. I had not realized that until Sunday when I had my crafty Zoom, and my friend Rose told me. She's like, oh yeah, this whole catalog it's been missing. I had no idea. It's in the way. All right, so this is just a scrap of black that I'm using as a scooper. If you had a little spoon, okay, so that is that one. And then we've got this last one. And then our greeting. So again, this works for any color cardstock because, I mean, you don't need the ink. You just need clear. All right, now this one should fit through. Nope, need a little bit more. All right, and we're doing the same thing with the greeting, and then we'll get the heat gun going. So we're going to emboss it, and I just hand cut this part. So embossing buddy. Yeah, I agree, Gail. I don't like that they're grouping them together. And, you know, people have other options. You know, if they don't want to buy a 3-pack of something, they don't have to buy it from Stampin' Up. I don't get it. But I'm sure they have a reason that we're not privy to. But we're in the same boat. If we don't like it, we don't have to get it. Okay, now let's heat this all up. And so I don't know if this is going to be loud or not with my microphone. So fingers crossed. Okay, not bad. All right, and now I'm just going to hand cut stuff. The other thing with clear is that you don't have to worry about if you get it, you know, little specks on the around if you don't get it perfectly. Like here, I got specks over there. Doesn't matter. I mean, I'm cutting it anyway, but still, ugh, there's too much powder there. All right, I'm going to let these sit for a minute, and I'm going to start with this one. So just trying to cut this as straight as I can. And then I'm going to rip the ends. Sean, yeah, my Versamark is so pretty now. Yeah, now because it's newish. Yeah, I haven't wrecked it up yet. I mean, that other one just got to be so bad. But, you know, I had that for years. So that's the beauty. Like, those things really do last. You just keep refilling them. It's just a matter of how much can you stand it being gross. But mine was actually starting to rip apart. All right, now this, I will tell you, is a little bit tricky with the eyeballs. And it might just be my eyeballs, but trying to cut this foil, you know, cut it around the embossing. Just because it's shiny, everything's shiny. I think it's mostly my eyeballs. All right, and then we'll do this one. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just looking for, you know, a rough outline. I know I've said this before, but it's worth remembering that when you're cutting something like this, you want to, your scissor hand should just be, this is just up and down. Use your other hand to guide your paper and turn it. It just seems like it goes quicker, smoother, and you get a better cut. right, and now, so these leaves are a little bit jiggity jaggedy. I'm not hitting every single one. Oh, I hear him downstairs talking to his friend. So he went to the dentist today. They had to take a cap off because there was a cavity under it. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so we've got all our leaves and our greeting piece. Then our foil, get rid of that. Now this is just a matter of, I think I popped all of these up. Yep. So let's get all those dimensionals. And now I'm going to use the bigger ones. So yeah, it's hard to believe. It really is messing me up with the catalog, you know. It's like a month earlier than normal. So here we are, April, having retirement workshop. Just something else to adjust to. And this catalog, don't forget, goes through May 3rd. All right, now this, I think I started with this guy, this biggest leaf first. And actually I want that little curly part to be up top. Oh, and actually I can see now. So this little, this part is tucked under. So I kind of got to do these together. Because I want it like that-ish. That's going to work. Yeah, I just wanted like a tighter group of 3 with a little bit of overlapping. And then let's put that there. Oh, and look, I use different, I use the different leaf colors for these two. So, I like that. I like them both ways. All right, and actually I'm going to peel this one off because this leaf is already raised and I don't want it to be lopsided. So I'm just going to give this a little squirt of glue that can attach to the leaf. Hold that in place. And then we'll bring in our, this was part of a 2-pack. I think it was like mint macaron, like a wider one. So this thinner copper, and this is no longer available, I'm pretty sure. So I'm just going to give you a little bit that I'll tie in a knot. Because I have enough. Actually, maybe, let me look at a double knot or a double layer. Too much. All right, one little knot and make these tails similar. All right, and then a glue dot, and then we will be finished with this card. Oops. Okay. I don't like how that's like poking up in a V. Really got to pull that down. All right, and this time I'm going to put it right there. So these are both just a wee bit different, but similar enough. So that is our retirement workshop. And like I said, use this hostess code, $50 or more order for April, and you are going to get a share of all my retired samples and cards, like everything that I've made this year. I have 2 of those photo boxes full, and swaps that I've been in. So there's a lot to choose from. You'll get like just a stack, whatever. Like if I have 20 orders, I lay everything out on a table and I make piles. Like I deal them out like cards, and everybody gets their fair share. And then you're also going to get a stamp set from the donation pile that I've had from Leslie and Pam. Some are wood, some are clear. I'll just try to make sure you get something that you don't already have. So let's bring in the other cards. Just put that right on top. And that is that. So thank you for being here. Like I said, next week I'm going to do stuff with Pretty Perennials. That's a flower set that I got from the current mini catalog. And bingo, bingo, bingo. I need 2 more players. I would like to have 2 more players today. So let me know. Okay? All right, girls. Thank you. That's it. And I'll catch you next week. Bye.